Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while since we last posted. Matt and I we're both sick, so
yeah,
we are finally better. We're back on the IS300. If you're new to the channel, the plan with this is to turbo it with an old turbo that came off my twin turbo Supra. So it's a tiny turbo. We can show you guys that in a minute. But anyways, the plan today is we got the new manifold. We're gonna be mounting that. We're gonna be doing the oil feed line as well, which is down here. We'll show you guys once we get to it. We'll permanently mount the intercooler.
Yeah, we might pull the tank or pull the
Fuel hat?
Fuel pump. Fuel pump bucket out. And do the mod in there, maybe mount the return line, and we'll just see how far we get. We'll just start chipping away.
Yeah, so we're back. We're gonna start posting more consistently now, now that we're both feeling a lot better. So if you're new to the channel, we hope you like it and subscribe. And yeah, let's get started. So here is the new manifold. If you guys remember, the old log manifold that we got did not work, unfortunately. And we did find other log manifolds, but the problem with those is they were like $400 or $500, and we're trying to keep this affordable so you guys can duplicate it as well. So here's the one we got here. That looks pretty nice. Is that different than the last one we got?
No, I don't think so.
No, there she is. What was this, like 160?
Something like
that.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, pretty affordable. And we're not pushing a ton of power through it, so we're not worried about the welds or anything like that.
No, yeah, we know we can at least make 300
yeah.
on the ground through one, so.
And that's the plan, 300. The biggest change is we're trying to spool a lot quicker with this. That's why the turbo's so small. I guess let's get started with mounting everything. All right, guys, so if you're new to the channel, you haven't seen this. So these are CT20 turbos. They're pretty small, obviously. They're baby turbos. And they come on the twin turbo Supras. I think they come on maybe the 1JZs as well. Nothing from here. They're from overseas, but this is what was on there. We're gonna have to do something with this side here to make it fit that T4. Oh, sorry, this side over here. And then block off this over here because this is the wastegate. We're gonna control that with our wastegate. And these are good for about 10 pounds, which is more than what we need. So it'll spool real nice and it'll be a fun car. And we're already running into issues. So again, we're still trying to keep the ABS here, but maybe that's not gonna work.
That might work. Just tight getting in there.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to move these lines.
Stuff. Looks like all these fit better.
It does, huh? I thought it was over
Maybe.
here, but maybe not. Maybe this one's a different flange.
I mean, it's a little tight right there, but nothing we couldn't just get the nut on. Yeah, like right there, and just pull it in.
Yeah, so the last one we got, I can't remember the brand, but this one seems to fit better, so it doesn't look like we're gonna need to cut any studs or anything. So last time we didn't use a coupler, Matt ended up welding this on there. It was just because of the clearance, so we're not sure. We're planning on using a coupler this time, but we may not be able to. And we've already posted, these are similar to what we used on the last kit, so we've already posted those. We might post them again on the new videos, but if not, look back on the previous build and you'll be able to find a lot of this stuff. All right, so we just got to cut this down, but everything else seems to be pretty good in line. So this time we're going to weld on that thing. All right, guys, so this is where you got to go to do the fuel modification here for your fuel pump. And we'll pull this out and we'll show you guys up close rather than trying to show you here. But it's just these guys here. So these three are 10 mils. And then you've got your plug here, but normally it comes off pretty easy. Make sure you clean this off so nothing falls into the fuel tank when you're taking this off. Once you have all of those off, they're 8 mils. You take those off around the hat here. So on these, make sure you just pull out the clips here. Hold one out and then clip the other one like that. And it should pop off like this. All right, move this out of the way here. Then you can just pull this up here. You're gonna have another line that's hooked up down there. So make sure you just pull that off. I'll show you guys that in a sec here. So this is the only hose you're gonna need to disconnect. And again, be mindful that no crap really falls in the tank. Obviously you got a filter on the fuel pump, but still. All right, so now that it's out, the bottom right here, we're gonna, this is the stock fuel pressure regulator. So this we have to clamp shut because we're going to use our own fuel pressure regulator, obviously. So that would be a good time to switch your fuel pump, obviously. If you have, I would recommend getting one. We ended up doing that on the last IS300 to a 340 liter per hour. It was like 80 or 90 bucks. And you're here and you're gonna need it. We're gonna try to run with the stock one and see how it does, just to experiment. But my guess is we're gonna have to go up to 340 liter per hour to keep up. There we go. So it's just 3 clips on this one. And then you can pull the fuel pump out, but for that you're gonna have to take all this off so you can actually rewire the new one. But what we're after is this guy here. So this is what we're gonna crimp. There's several ways to do it. You can either thread something on here and just shut it. What we did last time is clamped it and welded it, which I think is what we're gonna do again. And we clamped it over here and got it out of the way, so it's not in the way of your new hose that you're routing. All right, so basically what you do here is we're gonna pinch this one off, weld it. I think what we're gonna do, because it was kind of in the way last time, we're just gonna cut it all the way up to here. Matt's gonna weld that shut, and you're gonna leave this back in place. I think it just plugs this side of it. So now what we're gonna do is put our return onto this guy here. So this loops over, and it's gonna go through. It's not set up properly, but once we do put it in there, we'll show you. But it basically goes in through here to the new barb that we're putting in, and that's what's gonna be the return line. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's go see where Matt's at. I think he finished welding up the pipe. All right, so here's the pipe, nice and welded, ready to go. You're thinking it's too much of a bend right there?
It doesn't line up.
Oh, I see.
Don't need much, I don't think. Might even be able to just cut it and then clock it, and that'll take the bend out of it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, give it a shot.
Yeah.
Dave's rich, so he can just buy another one.
What'd you say?
How much money does he have? Jay broke.
That's pretty quiet, huh?
Let's see if we can get this thing
Lined up down there. Now we're getting somewhere.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, nice, dude. Oh, shit. Jeez. I'm not left-handed, dude. Let me do one more just for good measure here. Don't make lines like I did, but make sure you mark it at least more than once so you know where it goes. So we just ended up marking this with a pick. That way we knew where to line it back up, since the Sharpie was gonna go away when he cleaned it.
All right, guys, so we bought this fitting, this bulkhead fitting for the fuel hat. Instead of putting a push lock fitting here, we're just gonna machine these threads off and make it a barb. And then we'll just put a small piece of submersible hose to brake line, or to a hard line.
And you guys can buy an adapter for that in case you obviously don't have a lathe. And it'll go from that to barb, and then you put a hose on there. Yeah. But we don't want to go buy anything.
It works, and that's what we did on the other car, but we don't want to go buy it, plus they're closed today.
Right.
And it's just one more fitting jammed in there, so we can just get a little piece of hose.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so while Matt's doing that, we can go ahead and take the rest of this off. We are gonna have to take this apart here, because we're gonna drill a hole up here and then run our new barb fitting through this right here. We just gotta mark where we're gonna drill here. I'm gonna grab a Sharpie real quick. So I guess you can mark it from either end, but you want the barb to be pretty well centered here, so there's plenty of room for it. Okay. And now to take this off, it's pretty easy. You've got these clips here. The only pain in the butt is when you pull this one off, pull this, it might clip the other one, so try to kind of go around with it as you're unclipping. Alright, so once you got that off, there's going to be a little bit of pressure because of this O-ring here. And plug it from the fuel pump. And there's our mark there that we did, because remember it has to line up with this so we can run the hose through there. And then Matt wrapped up on that thing, so.
Yeah, so we just cut a little groove in there. Left some thread so this nut can still sandwich the washers.
Yeah, so it's going to go through
gasketed
here.
washers and that hat. Got the nut on, and we got these gasketed washers. It worked great on the last car. You don't have to worry about the plastic stripping out if you try tapping that. I mean, it's plastic for one, and it's very thin, so it's only going to hold a couple threads. So this is what we came up with instead. Just it'll get a gasket on both sides, sandwich it, and no fuel leaks. I think on the last car we had this fitting, but in a fixed 90, and this time we're gonna do this. Either one should work.
It's a little close, but I think it'll be fine. I don't think we'll run into issues. All right, so here is the intercooler piping mat welded up. Looks really good. I know it looks kind of funny, obviously, because of how small it is, but like we said, we're looking for quick spool, so this is gonna get us there. Got that. On the last one, we welded the blow-off valve here. I think we're gonna just keep this all together now, and we're probably gonna put the blow-off valve on the hot side of the intercooler. So probably right here as it comes out of the turbo. But it's coming along pretty good. Got to wrap up on the fuel hat and get all that squared away. So once we get the rest of the parts for that, we're still missing a rubber hose. We'll show you guys how to complete it all. It may not be in this video. We might have to do it on the next one. We're hoping within the next couple videos we'll have this thing started. Maybe sooner, but somewhere around there is the goal. So we'll just keep plugging away. Go ahead and get this mounted and see where we're gonna need to clock this. That's the inlet. It's tiny. It's cool though, it'll say Toyota on there. And it is the first ever. We tried looking up to see if anybody else has done this. We're the first ones to do it, so we'll see how it turns out. Oh yeah. You'll be eating your words, dude, once we throw it on the dyno. We're gonna do some thinking real quick and then we'll get back to you guys. All right guys, I think we figured out something for the turbo. It's gonna be different than what we originally thought. Matt was thinking maybe we do, instead of mounting it over there, we're gonna buy a flange for that, put it basically where we mount the turbo over here. You wanna give them your thoughts on that?
I was thinking we just put it something like that. I think, or no, it was like this.
So essentially like remote mounting it from the manifold, right?
Yeah, so it'll come up and snake into there, and then we'll still have room to put our downpipe in there.
I think this is where we're gonna end it today. The intercooler is permanently mounted now. We got this end all done right here. Mass airflow. And then we've got this pipe already done. I don't remember where we put it.
It's in the trunk right now.
But it's just, right now it's just a horseshoe basically out to somewhere over here. And then once we get the turbo mounted, then we can figure out what we need to do, basically 90 up to it. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Hopefully we'll have it mounted on the next one and maybe on.
Yeah, maybe we'll get fire it up.
Yeah, so thanks for watching.
See you later.